The night was unusually still, as if the universe itself were holding its breath. The only sound within the walls of our peaceful suburban home was the steady ticking of the clock, each second stretching unbearably long. Outside, the breeze barely stirred the leaves, and the world felt unnaturally calm, a deceptive calm before an impending storm. I sat alone in the dimly lit living room, the television flickering in front of me, though I wasn't truly watching. My eyes were locked on the screen, but my mind wandered through a labyrinth of doubt and mistrust, a place I had been lost in for months. My thoughts were a million miles away, tangled in the gnawing fear that tonight would bring an answer I wasn't ready for. I had hoped, prayed, that I was wrong. But deep down I knew. For 10 years, I had shared my life with my wife. A decade of laughter, memories, and what I had believed was unwavering trust. We had met in college, fallen in love swiftly, and built a life together that I thought would last forever. She had been everything I had ever wanted: funny, intelligent, and kind. But now, it seemed I had deceived myself into believing in a forever that had never truly existed. At first, the changes had been subtle. A shift so delicate that I barely noticed it at all. She started going out more, staying out later, always with an explanation: work meetings, old friends, harmless social outings. And I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But then came the little things. The new perfume I had never seen her wear before. The way she turned her phone away when checking messages. The growing distance between us, as if she was slowly fading into another world, one I was no longer a part of. I ignored the warning signs for as long as I could, convincing myself that I was imagining things. We had always been close, always honest with each other. But the doubt lingered, whispering in the back of my mind. It felt like living with a shadow, a constant presence I couldn't quite grasp. And then, tonight happened. She had told me she was going to dinner with coworkers, just another evening out like so many before. But something about the way she said it, the way she looked at me before leaving, sent a chill down my spine. It was different this time. I didn't know why, but I could feel it. As soon as the door closed behind her, I reached for her phone. It was a violation of trust, but trust had already been broken. My fingers trembled as I unlocked it, my heart pounding against my ribs. I wasn't sure what I expected to find. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. And then, there it was. A name I had never seen before. Jason. Message after message, each one carving deeper into my chest like a blade. Words of affection, promises of time spent together, tonight included. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a moment of weakness. It was something deeper, something ongoing. A life she had been living behind my back while pretending to still be mine. The air in the room grew heavy, pressing down on me as I sat frozen, the phone slipping from my fingers. My stomach twisted, and for a moment, I thought I might be sick. I had suspected, but nothing could have prepared me for the reality of it. The truth, undeniable and merciless, stared back at me from the glowing screen. She had chosen him. Again and again. Hours passed, though I barely noticed. My thoughts were a storm, raging inside me as I sat there in silence, waiting. The house, once a place of warmth and love, felt foreign and empty. Every tick of the clock was a reminder that she was out there, with him. At 1 a.m., her car finally pulled into the driveway. The sound of tires crunching against the pavement sent a jolt through me. My hands clenched into fists as I waited, every muscle in my body tense. A few moments later, the front door opened. She stepped inside, humming softly to herself, her face glowing with happiness. She hadn't just been with friends. She hadn't spent the night in guilt. She had been with him, and she had enjoyed every moment of it. When she turned and saw me, the smile vanished. Her body stiffened, and her breath caught in her throat. "Oh," she whispered, her voice uneasy. "You're still awake." I didn't answer right away. I just stared at her, letting the silence stretch between us. My pulse pounded in my ears, my emotions a tangled mess of rage, heartbreak, and betrayal. She shifted uncomfortably, forcing a small smile. "It was just a work thing, you know, girls' night." The lie slipped so easily from her lips. I stood up slowly, my movements controlled, deliberate. As I stepped toward her, she instinctively pulled back, sensing the shift in the air. Fear flickered in her eyes. I reached for her phone before she could, gripping it tightly. I saw the messages, I said, my voice low, trembling with barely contained fury. I know. Her face drained of color, her eyes wide with shock. I can explain, she stammered. I don't want to hear it. My voice rose, raw with pain. Explain what? Months of lying, sneaking around, looking me in the eyes every day and pretending everything was fine. Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. The trust that had once been the foundation of our marriage had shattered beyond repair. I'm so sorry, she whispered, her voice cracking. I never meant for this to happen. It was a mistake. A mistake. I repeated, my voice thick with disbelief. A mistake is one night. A choice is what you did, over and over again. She sank onto the couch, sobbing, her body trembling as she buried her face in her hands. But her tears meant nothing to me now. You ruined everything, I said, my voice hollow. For him. Her broken whisper reached me through her sobs. Please, don't do this. I still love you. But I didn't believe her. I turned away, the weight of everything crushing down on me. I don't care, I said quietly. You need to leave. I didn't stay to watch her break down. I couldn't. I climbed the stairs, each step feeling heavier than the last, and entered our bedroom. Closing the door behind me, I collapsed onto the bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. The silence around me was deafening. For 10 years, I had built my life around her, around us. And in one night, I realized it had all been a lie. The woman I had trusted with everything, the woman I had loved more than myself, was a stranger. And I no longer knew who I was.